Well, folks, it's Saturday. It's OP. It's the Unlimited Series presented by Buttkicker here at the iRacing Super Speedway. Had a little bit of a snafu with the previous session, so yeah, and it's Stephen Lane up in the booth. But we got a new session up. Guys are out here on the track getting a short practice on the new conditions. Guess the track temperatures may have been just a little too high, and they were losing some grip. Now, I didn't get a chance to, to get the sound quality up, so I may have to do some of that on the fly. But welcome everybody right here on MaxspeedTV. Glad everybody could tune in tonight. These guys are out on the track for some practice. We're going to get some stuff here. We got about, I think we got 20 minutes of practice here, so these guys are going to be out on the track. Pretty decent field out here right now. Looking at our car count, maybe around 25 drivers right now, as we are seeing people kind of go everywhere. Now, I'm going to tell you guys, this track speeds, the speeds of these cars are reaching almost Formula One speeds at 230 plus miles an hour in the Xfinity cars. It is insane what these guys are doing. So, man, in the draft, I'm seeing 240 mile an hour. Oh, I'm sure that at these speeds, there's going to be a lot of crashes, wrecks, big damage. As you can see back there in the background, guys are already starting to roll out. But, well, guys, we are going to go ahead and step aside. Since I didn't do it, we're going to play the national anthem. Hopefully, when we get back, we will get caught up with Anthony English, who was last week's winner, although I did not broadcast due to a funeral in our family. So hang tight. I will be right back.
Can you see Yes, we are the brave. We'll fight you in name, the name of the brave. We are the US of A. For those unaware, that flag is still there. It's our future to save, this land of the brave, the US of A. Oh, say, just that star, spangled banner, yeah, wave for the land of the brave, and the
This is Rio of Madison Rising, and you're watching MaxspeedTV.
Well, folks, we are back here live on MaxspeedTV. Big shout out to Madison Rising for their rendition of our national anthem. And I can't forget, tonight's sponsor is Mr. Mike Edgerton and the Fish Guys here at the Fish Guys 250 at the International, or at the iRacing Super Speedway, I should say. I don't know why I say thinking International Speedway, but hey, same thing. So big shout out to Mike Edgerton and sponsoring tonight's race. But, you know, we're going to go ahead and we're going to get with our winner from last week. Let me see if I can find him. He is right there. And we'll get him up to the broadcast booth. Anthony English making his return last week after having the surgery at Atlanta. Ends up getting the win. Anthony, let's talk a little bit about that, buddy. Welcome back, first of all.
Oh, thanks, Steve. It's good to be back. It definitely is. I missed you guys being gone for the month or so I was gone.
Well, buddy, we are definitely glad you're doing better. We're glad to have you back on the track. Now, Atlanta is probably one of your favorite tracks. I think you'd mentioned that to me before. And I guess, I do apologize. Family happens, and I just couldn't miss that. But awesome to have you back out there. Come back from having the heart surgery and getting the win. Man, I wish I could have seen it. And, we may do something here. I don't know. We may do something here in the next day or so, and maybe broadcast, do an over voice on that race. But awesome job. Congratulations on the win last week. So let's talk a little bit about that. How did things feel to you out there? What happened?
Oh man, well, I mean, to start, it's a slow process. I mean, anybody wondering about what's going on and stuff, I mean, it's slow. I used to run really high force feedback. I've had to turn my force feedback down and off to even be able to come out here and have fun with you guys and stuff. So I mean, it's a lot of change, and even in my driving style, to my wheel settings, to my iRacing settings, and to be honest, coming out the first race out of the gate and winning it was even a shock to me, because I told all the guys I was gonna try to make half the race and see how I felt, and then I ended up getting 3/4 of the race through there, and then we had a decent pit strategy and stayed out for track position, and I decided to stay up there and ended up getting lucky enough to win it. So it was like, wow, like it wasn't really meant to be or planned in the cards or whatever, but it ended up happening,
Well, you never know when it's going to come or how it's going to come. But man, congratulations on the win, and that gets you automatically into the playoffs. So tonight, though, we're Yeah, we were talking a little bit about these car
Oh
speeds
man.
out here, and of course, I
Yeah.
had to we had to get a new session up. I think the track temperature was a little bit high, so they had to cool the track down a little bit. But 240 miles an hour is what I was seeing in practice in the draft.
Yeah, she's speedy. She's definitely a little bit to hold on to. I will apologize to everybody in advance. If tonight ends up turning into a shit show, pardon my language. But if it ends up being a really crappy race or whatnot, we will probably take iRacing off the schedule. They changed Xfinity cars a little bit with the last patch since last time we ran them on Saturdays. So you can't adjust the rear end down to be into the track like you used to be able to.
Gotcha.
And so it's causing us to be a little bit loose going in if you're not like feathering it. It's almost like running the 87s at Dega. I mean, you got to give it a little bit of a roll out as you're going in. You go in there full throttle with somebody like side drafting you really tough or pushing you really tough, and it gets a little loose on you. So we're gonna go ahead run with it, and hopefully it's not too bad. We've all been talking in race chatter about what we need to do to make it happen and not have as many incidents as possible and stuff. So hopefully it ends up not being too bad of a race tonight. But if so, I do apologize to everybody in advance.
Well, it is a super speedway racetrack, and that's what this league is known for. And uh, it is what it is. You guys will make the best of it, I'm sure. But we're going to let you go because you guys are about to get into qualifying. Anthony, congratulations on the win last week, buddy. Glad that you're back. Glad that you're doing a little bit better and getting better every day.
Thank you very much, Steve. It's good to be back. It's good to see all you guys, and shout out to everybody I've been chatting with in the chat the last few weeks. They've become like a new set of friends to me. We've all been chatting it up in there and stuff. And since I wasn't racing and stuff, it was pretty cool. So I was able to watch everything and do things from a different perspective for a while, and it was cool, but just not the same as being in the car,
Exactly, exactly. Well, brother, good luck tonight, and hopefully we'll catch up with you here soon.
All right, thank you much, Steven. You have a good one.
All right, you too, buddy. Get him back down there as we are getting ready to get into our qualifying. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bring this guy up to the booth. Mr. Mike Edgerton, a good buddy of mine. You guys are fixing to qualify, but Mike, our race sponsor for tonight, buddy. Man, we sure do appreciate that. The Fish Guys 250. Explain to our fans out there, Mike, a little bit about the Fish Guys.
Fish Guys are located, Steve, in Key Largo, Florida, and it is Lane Goodwin and George Clark Jr. They are both charter captains there in Key Largo, and we are so happy and proud to be sponsored by them. A lot of fun. They give us hats and shirts and all kinds of stuff to give away to the winners, and hopefully maybe I can be a winner tonight, Steve. What do you think?
Well, man, IRSS is a tough track to try to battle. The main thing you got to do is just, stay clean and just hang on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's going to be a fun race. A lot of speed, in these cars tonight.
Yes, we're talking about that 240 plus mile an hour in the draft. So, but man, we just we just want to bring you up here for a minute, give you a special shout out. Thanks for sponsoring tonight's race, Mike. We're going to let you go. And what room was you in?
I was in Team 5.
Okay, we're going to get you back down there, Mike. Good luck tonight, buddy.
Thank you, sir. Take care.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
All right. Well, folks, we are getting into qualifying. Thomas Lockwood currently out on the track. Andy Brigante as well. Bubba Whittingham, Jeremy Stanley. Everett Lane out, going down to the inside. Vicente Guerrero out on the track. Brandon Pfeiffer, Dwayne Corbett, Dana Shepard, Dave Hunt, Peter DeBorja, Dustin Logston, Jimmy Reynolds out on the track right now, as well as Chris Gordon, Chris Jordan, Gabe Butler, Alex Green, Rick Sanchez, and of course Anthony English. And right now I don't have an exact card count. About 32 cars is what I'm counting right now, folks, out on the or in the session. So a pretty decent turnout for Saturday night. Peter DeBorja right now sitting at the top with a 48.15. Again, these guys are 200 plus miles an hour. We're going to go ahead and we'll turn this driver telemetry on real quick. You can see 221 miles an hour for Peter DeBorja. I'm seeing Bubba Winningham at 220 plus mile an hour as well. I'm going to refresh my SDK here because it is acting goofy. Brandon Pfeiffer. Oh, up in the air. And around. Got some fun trivia for you guys here tonight. What is the most cautions in a singular race per track? Yeah, he might have stuck the landing. But looks like we are well, Ginger, you're close with Daytona. I say Daytona. Dega, you're close at Dega too. Talladega has 12 cautions in a singular race. Daytona, yeah. So what do you think is the most cautions we've had right here on iRacing Super Speedway? Get those numbers in as we are gridding. Well, Peter DeBorja is going to be your pole sitter while y'all are thinking about that. Let me find old Pete down here. He's in here somewhere. I think. Where is Pete at? I am not seeing. There he is. Let me get him into the broadcast booth. Pete, got the pole tonight, buddy. Awesome time, awesome job, man. A lot of speed in these cars.
Yeah, it's the only place I can qualify well. Everywhere else, I'm kind of a crapshoot. But ISS, I can get it done here sometimes.
Well, you know, these cars are, you know, we know they're a handful in the draft. I know that, you know that, but at these speeds, man, it's going to be treacherous.
Yeah, we'll see. It's going to be messy. You guys are going to have to give and take a good bit. There's a lot of guys in here that I trust at that. There's a lot of guys in here also whose names I've never seen before. And depending how invested they are into what OP's about and season standings and points, they might just be here for a fun time, not a long time. I don't know. So,
well, you know,
it'll just be up to the guys to kind of know who they're racing around and what kind of situations are going on. And these cars don't take damage as well as the trucks do. These get hit a little too hard. They don't rebuild so well. So there's going to be a lot of guys, I think, going to the back or maybe starting from the pits and playing it super safe tonight. And it'll be an interesting strategy change.
Well, it's definitely going to be an interesting race, buddy. Well, congratulations on getting that pole. And again, I got to tip my hat to you and to Dustin, again, for the overlay. I know I say it every week, but man, the overlays look amazing, and you guys do a great job.
You're getting better with it every week too, man. Every race I see you getting a little better with the replay, the volume balancing and whatnot. So we appreciate you putting that effort as well, man.
I appreciate it, Pete. Good luck tonight, buddy. And, well, I don't know where you was at. You just kind of popped in, so I'm going to let you go.
It's fine. I'll figure it out. You're good.
All right, we'll see you, buddy.
All right, thank you.
All right, well, guys, we are going to go ahead and get to our starting grid here. Peter DeBorja in that top spot on row 1. Out inside, Anthony English in that P2 spot. And Rick Sanchez starting inside row 2. His outside will be the 88 of Gabe Butler. Row number 3 on the inside, the 14 of Vicente Guerrero. To his outside will be the 17 of Jimmy Reynolds. Starting row number 4 inside, the 60 of Jeremy Stanley. His outside will be the 18 of Dwayne Corbett. Starting row number 5, the inside will be the 43 of Dana Shepard. His outside will be the 54 of Brandon Pfeiffer. Starting row number 6 will be the 81 of Dustin Logston. His outside will be the 47 of Richard Kuhn. Starting row number 7 on the inside will be the 06 of Andrew Zonto. His outside will be the 6 machine of Bubba Winningham. Row number 8, the 78 of Chris Jordan on the inside. His outside will be the 38 of Thomas Lockwood. Row number 9 will be the 13 of Andy Brigante. His outside will be the 53 of Mr. Dave Hunt. Row number 10 on the inside, the 024 of Everett Lane. His outside will be that 56 R race sponsor of Mr. Mike Edgerton. Row number 11 on the inside will be the 59 of John Guerrero. His outside will be the 3 of Alex Green. Row number 12 will be the 8 of Stephen Miles. His outside will be the 95 of James Mayer. Row 13, the 27 of Sean Stevens on the inside. His outside will be the 01 of Stuart Broderick. Row number 14 will be the 49 of Kenny Bishop. His outside will be the 48 of Andrew Schroeder. Starting row number 15, the 069 of Ryan Callahan. His outside, the 85 of Adam Kilday. And we are going green here, folks. And to round out the field, Douglas Johnson, Rick Seabrands, Vicente Guerrero, Gabe Butler, Jimmy Reynolds, and Everett Lane. Started from the pits. As we are green flag racing here at iRacing Super Speedway, as Peter does go up to that high side. Trying to avoid that bump down at the bottom. Well, that's going to put Rick Sanchez as your leader right now. As Rick goes to the outside, that's going to bring the 3-car group of, that looks like Anthony English, the 18 of Dwayne Corbett, and the 54 of Brandon Pfeiffer. Down on the inside, though, is that 60 of Jeremy Stanley, the 43 of Dana Shepard, and the 81 of Dustin Logston. Don't look too far back because there is the 06 of Andrew Zonto. Oh, the 18 gets loose, gets caught up. That got them caught up. Several other cars involved. The 59 of John Guerrero. And I believe that is the 38 of Thomas Lockwood. Dwayne Corbett. Significant damage. Let's take a look here, folks. As we look at our MaxspeedTV. Well, we need to do this first. We seen Dwayne Corbett there getting a little bit loose. Going into the corner, and that's what Anthony was kind of talking about, having to roll out of the throttle, going into the corner. Ooh, Richard Kuhn, nowhere for him to go. Yeah, just a little bit, Daniel. Ooh, Dave Hunt getting a piece of that. Sends the 18 around. Rick Sanchez gets a piece of it. And John Guerrero trying to get it locked down. Unable to. And there's some net code right there. Got him involved into it as well. Well, we are going to go be back live here. Well, that's going to put, let me get my tickers on here. Well, that's going to put Jeremy Stanley as your leader, Dana Shepard second, Anthony English third, Dustin Logston fourth, Brandon Pfeiffer in your top 5. They very well could have, as these guys are going to come down pit road. Of course, tonight's green flag sponsor, Chevyland.com, Bubba Winningham. If you're in the market for a new or pre-owned vehicle, go to Chevyland.com, Shreveport, Louisiana. See what they've got. You can do all your financing and stuff right there online. They will take care of you. Of course, if you can't make it to Shreveport, Louisiana, you find something, you buy something from them, they will deliver in the lower 48 states. Well, we're going to go ahead and let Bubba take his pit stop here, and we'll bring him up into the booth real quick. Get his opinion of the track. I'm going to wait till he gets going. I don't want to mess with these guys when they're trying to get their pit stops done. All right, he is rolling now, so we're going to bring him up into our broadcast booth real quick. Bubba, our Chevyland.com, our green flag sponsor. Man, how is that track feeling to you out there tonight?
So the track is it's cool. It's 69 degrees. However, with this, all the recent updates and everything, this is the first time we've been Xfinity out here at iRacing Super Speedway in a long time. And you're just going to have to lift a little bit. You can't just go over to the floor all the way around this track anymore. In the draft, you're doing 240. Yeah. So what we're seeing is during practice, we saw a lot of spinning coming out of the pits because it's just not, you can't go 150. And then also when you're on somebody's bumper in the turn, if you don't lift, you're going to spin. So we're just going to have to drive it with some good common sense. We're going to have some fun tonight. That was a caution. We saw what happened there. And so I think the rest of the race, you're going to see some guys are going to choose to be a little bit careful, and others are going to wreck. So we'll see what happens.
Well, and at these speeds, it's going to be big wrecks at that.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So I'm going to hang out in the back a little bit and just kind of feel the car a little while and then start racing later on. So it's but it was going to be fun. I love this track when it's once people kind of get used to it. I love racing. 240 is a lot of fun.
It is. Well, Bubba, we were talking about Chevyland. Chevyland is our green flag sponsor. Of course, Bubba is the general manager down there in Shreveport. But special shout out and thanks to you, Bubba, and Chevyland for all you guys do.
You bet, man. We have a good time. Another friend from iRacing, his company just bought 2 trucks. I'm delivering north of Knoxville, Tennessee Monday. They're dropping off north of Knoxville. So Chevyland.com, we deliver everywhere.
All right. Well, Bubba, good luck, buddy. We're going to get you back down there. You guys are fixing to go back green flag racing, and we will talk to you later.
All right, brother. Thank you, man.
All right. Get him back down there. Well, Peter DeBorja is still going to be your leader, though. Dana Shepard again out front as the lights on the pace car are out, as we were talking about. Yeah, 240, guys. That's what these cars are doing in the draft. Peter opted to take that high starting line. It is going to be a race. Handful. Pace car dives down to pit road once again. Going to enter the Geico restart zone. Chevyland, green flag in the air. Here we go. Green flag back out, folks. Back racing. iRacing Super Speedway. OP Saturday night. Of course, Stephen Lane up in the booth. I'm waiting to find out if we're going to have a special guest come in tonight. Very well could have one come in as we get back kind of through the field. I believe they only still get one fast repair. I don't think that has changed. As we look back through, these guys are screaming at 220 plus mile an hour right now Andrew Zonto out in the lead at 231. Man, there is a lot of action going on, folks. I am trying to catch it all, but these guys, as fast as they're going, we're just going to kind of have to play the catch-up game. Looking back through, Bubba Winningham back here in 20th. He said he was going to kind of hang out in the back. Adam Kilday right now in at 25th. He's got 007 on his car, but that is the 01 of Stuart Broderick right behind Adam. Brandon Pfeiffer taking over the lead right now. Dave Hunt, Jeremy Stanley, Andrew Zonto getting a great run on that outside line. 3 wide. Of course, I think you could go 6 wide at iRacing Super Speedway. Big shot there by the 53 of Dave Hunt on Brandon Pfeiffer. You can just see how fast the camera is having a hard time hanging with these guys as well. Jeremy Stanley out in front, Brandon Pfeiffer. Here we go. Look at 3 wide once again. Guys kind of spread out, but as Brandon Pfeiffer dives from that 3rd lane all the way down to the bottom behind Dana Shepard. Oh, Dana down across the nose of Brandon. Great save by those guys. That could have ended badly quick. Oh, somebody up into the wall. Andrew Zonto hard into that outside wall. Let's take a look here. Well, looking through here at our, right there it was. Looked like Andrew coming out of the corner. On that high side. And just destroyed that front end of that car. You see that right front wheel of Thomas Lockwood getting turned around as well. Everett Lane getting hooked there. Looking to see if anybody else. Oh, 85 of Adam Kilday right into the back of Thomas Lockwood. Ryan Callahan getting a piece of that as well. Yeah, I think they only did one fast repair. They probably should have added another one. But Anthony English going to be your leader. Dustin Logston in 2nd. Kenny Bishop in 3rd. Alex Green 4th. Dave Hunt rounding out your top 5. 6 through 10 is Stanley, Guerrera, Pfeiffer, Shepard, Stephen Miles, Mike Edgerton in 11th. Sean Stevens 12th. Richard Kuhn 13th. James Mayer 14th. Jimmy Reynolds in 15th. Vicente Guerrero 16th. Rick Sanchez in 17th. 18th is Chris Jordan. Adam Kilday 19th is Stuart Broderick rounding out your top 20. We'll let Vicente jump into, I don't see him in Discord. So, let's see where We'll bring this guy up. Coach, Steve up to booth. Got a copy there, buddy.
Hey, what's up, bud? How's it going?
Well, you tell me. It looks like it's still kind of slick out there.
It is different. I'm just chilling in the back because I'm gonna spin coming out of the pits. No, I just spun. Yep, not paying attention. God damn it. Yeah, it is super slick, dude. Super slick.
Well, I don't know.
Just getting up the road is an absolute shit show. Yeah.
Well, hopefully I didn't cause any of that.
No, that was me. I was trying to adjust something. It's alright, it's fine.
Well, now,
Hold on a second.
we had a question
What's
from
that?
our viewers out there, Coach.
Uh-oh. Go ahead, what is it?
Well, they were asking about fast repairs. Did they give you guys any extra tonight being IRSS? Or?
Nope. I wish they did, but no. Now I got to use one, so I will definitely be in the back. Probably most, if not all, the night.
Oh man.
No, we'll see. It's just super slick, and we're not used to it. I don't remember these cars being this bad the last time we ran them, so I don't know.
Well, I think with somebody said with the patch updates that they did, they wasn't able to adjust certain things to where they would let the track a little bit better. So
I don't run IRSS Super Speedway all that much, so pretty much only in here. So yeah, it is what it is.
Well, David
we'll make the best of it.
David O's out there because we're live. He says, "Coach to the trailer for inappropriate language."
Oh yeah.
So,
I've had a little bit tonight, so we're feeling great. So we're not too worried about getting wrecked out. We'll hang out in the back with the guys and see what happens. Hopefully nobody kills us, runs us over. We'll see.
All right, brother. Well, good luck, man.
All right,
thanks for coming up and just have fun.
Anytime. That's what we're here for, brother. Anytime.
All right. See ya.
Later.
All right, guys. So I do apologize about that. I don't think he realized that, things happen. So do apologize about the language, folks. But, well, getting back, lights on the pace car are out, though. Peter DeBorja out front, Jeremy Stanley, Dustin Logston, Anthony English, Alex Green, your top 5. Hoping everybody is having a great weekend. Right now, the rain has kind of let off from about to drown us out here in Oklahoma. Of course, we've had tornado warnings and touchdowns and everything else. Well, green flag is back out in the air. Here we go. Green flag racing once again. iRacing Super Speedway here on Saturday night for the OP Buttkicker Unlimited Series. Jeremy Stanley getting a good push out front by Dustin Logston. Anthony English right there. Stephen Miles right behind him. You're right, David O. It was totally 100% a genuine coach. The man has no filter. Absolutely no filter. All right, look at this run Alex Green is getting. You see these guys kind of back and forth. They're trying to break that draft is what they're trying to do because this is such a this is a 3-mile track, folks. Okay, so back to our trivia question. The most races or the most cautions as another caution comes out. Let's see what happened there. It took us to Everett. But that's not where we're at. Oh, Peter DeBorja getting out of shape, but I don't think that's what caused all of that. We'll see. We're going to... That was a 54 of Brandon Pfeiffer. as Brandon is coming through the corner. He gets loose up into that outside wall. And I think this is where Peter gets a piece of him, because the banking on this track is so high, even with the brakes locked up. Oh no, Peter got tagged by Jimmy Reynolds, it looked like, right here. Check it up, Jimmy Reynolds right into the back of him. Jimmy is coming down pit road. Peter DeBorja as well. And Thomas Lockwood, Brandon Pfeiffer down pit road. Zonto coming down. Doug Johnson coming out of his pit box. So as we were talking about the trivia, the most cautions in a single race per track, iRacing Super Speedway has had 17. Well, running into the back of somebody, Eric, will definitely slow you down. Don't think you're going to need brakes for that. Brendan Kennedy. Out there, guys, I do appreciate everybody tuning in. Of course, my cameras, like I said, is not the normal camera pack or the camera pack that I have been using. iRacing Super Speedway only had one option, and that's all I've got. So, but Richard Kuhn right now in the top spot. Jeremy Stanley second, Logston in third, English fourth, Shepard in fifth. Miles 6th, Hunt 7th, Bishop at 8th, Green in 9th, Guerrera 10th, Edgerton 11th, Broderick 12th, Winningham 13th, Corbett 14th, Schroeder in 15th, Johnson 16th, Sanchez 17th, Vicente Guerrero in 18th, Mayer 19th, Everett Lane in 20th. Gabe Butler still down on a pit road. Andy Brigante coming off a pit road. And Chris Jordan coming down to his box. Brandon Pfeiffer back on the track. Ryan Callahan still down pit road. Yep, survive until 10 laps to go. That's all you can do. They only have one. They didn't change any fast repairs, so they only get the one fast repair. So here we go, folks. Pace car making that aggressive move down pit road. Yeah, restart's going to be on the leader. Green flag in the air. Here we go. Back out. Green flag racing once again. I think the only way that they're going to get a long green flag run is just kind of, I'll just be a little more patient. Lifting them corners a little bit like they were talking about. Right now we are on Dana Shepard. He is currently in 5th spot, but look at that outside line. That is 49. Shows 49, but I believe that is John Guerrera. No, John Guerrera is down on the inside. That's Kenny Bishop in the 49, the Nerditudes machine there. Again, special shout out to the guys at Nerditudes, Dustin, Logston, Peter, DeBorja, all them guys over there that create these overlays. And it's looking great, and I'm loving it, loving the control, getting better. Oh, Richard Coon up into the wall. That's going to bring out another caution. We will see if this will let me do it. We'll rewind that a little bit here. Let's get to our far chase. That's going to be Richard Coon. That's going to get loose. Let me find him here. He is down. He didn't touch the yellow. That's the bad thing about this track. You get on the apron. But he got loose. Never was able to really recover. Sends him up into Dustin. Both of them hard into that outside wall. Looks like everybody else made it past those guys. Andrew Schroeder had to make some aggressive moving to get out of the way, keep from hitting Jimmy. Well, David, I think they tried to adjust the iRacing setup, but I guess with the new updates and patches they did, wasn't able to adjust something on the rear end to keep them from getting so loose. And I think that's what we're seeing is the rear end is snapping on them, and they're just losing it in the corners. But Jeremy Stanley down pit road, as well as Stephen Miles, Dana Shepard, Anthony English, Dave Hunt, John Guerrero, Stuart Broderick, Vicente Guerrero, Alex Green, Everett Lane, Mike Edgerton, Peter DeBorja decided to stay out. James Mayer, Sean Stevens, Richard Coon, Jimmy Reynolds, Dwayne Corbett, as my timing screen is going crazy. Most everybody. Oh, Dave Hunt spinning on pit road into that outside wall. Did he lose control as he was leaving his pit box? Where is Dave Hunt? There he is. So as we're looking at this, he just lost it coming out of his pit box. Yeah, so they are able to go into a test session with the stock setup, tweak it here and there, and then when they create the session, they add that fixed setup to so everybody has the same setup. Pretty much how they do that. Now Dave can answer because he runs our Checker Flag Motorsports league on Sundays. Most of the time I think they use just whatever iRacing has, but I do run Downforce. We'll usually take the stock setup and tweak it a little bit and either make it a little bit tighter or a little bit looser. Some of the guys like a little bit looser setup. Some of them don't. I myself am not a fan of a loose setup. I'd rather it be just a little tighter. Well, I say that where it starts to get loose and then tighten it up just a little bit from there to where it's not so snappy. Looking at our top 5 here, Peter DeBorja, Kenny Bishop, Anthony English, Stephen Miles, and Jeremy Stanley. As Pete is trying to become one with the pace car. I don't see Mark Mann out here tonight. Uh-oh, Peter DeBorja lost connection or something. I don't know what happened to Pete. Pete just disappeared. Here we go. Pace car is off. As we get ready to roll out again. Green flag racing here. Green flag in the air, back out. Okay. Well, that would make sense. Here they come around turn 1 and 2, coming down the back straightaway. I should say the front straightaway. I'm not sure. It's so big. This is a huge track. This is a 3-mile track, folks. Ooh, Dana getting a little bit to the outside. Kind of looking back through the field, not a lot going on. Guys are starting to kind of settle down a little bit. Looks like Adam Kilday, Peter DeBorja still not back into the race. Thomas Lockwood, Richard Kuhn, and Ryan Callahan. Looks like Richard may be out of the race. And we got another caution here, folks. That was the coach himself. We're looking to see if he got on that apron too much. Well, he was up on that high side. And right there, the rear end just kind of snapped around on him. Looking to see if... Oh, Dave Hunt getting a piece of it there. And Dave's hood is through his windshield. Dave Hunt, unfortunately, towing to the pits. What it looks like it's going to happen, he has got some major damage to that front end as well. Well, guys, give me just a second. We are going to step aside, but we will be right back. And folks, we are back. Again, big shout out to Buttkicker for sponsoring this season. Of course, the winner of the season, of the championship, will receive a Buttkicker system for their rig. So big shout out to them. Well, look who's out front. Mr. Anthony English himself. Well, let's see who we could pick on. Well, you know, we don't get to talk to him very much, so we're going to bring Dana up to boot. Dana, Steve up here, buddy, man. Pretty wild out there tonight.
Yeah, it's been a little hair-raising. I think practice didn't go well for all of us, and these cars are not handling like they should be out here, so it's we might be going for a record.
Is you know, somebody had said that with the new update, they weren't able to adjust something in the rear end to keep them from snapping around. Is that what you're kind of feeling, just a little bit loose on the rear end in the corners?
Yeah, the cars are unloading on entry rate there when they drop, and the back end's not gripping. So if you're too close to somebody or you bump them, it just sends the car. There's just no control to it.
Okay. Well, I know we got Ginger and Daniel out there in chat cheering you on, buddy. Good luck, or we're going to let you go.
Hey, thank you. Hey, a pleasure having you with us, and hopefully we'll put on a better show as this goes.
We'll see. It's you know, it is iRacing Super Speedway of all places.
Oh, that's true.
All right, buddy. See you later.
See ya.
All right. We don't get to talk to Dana very much. Of course, you know, we kind of miss seeing our other buddy, Derek Donna. Haven't seen him out in a while. I know he's been working a lot. So, well, English, Miles, Bishop, Stanley, Shepard, your top five. John Guerrera in 6th, Jordan 7th, Vicente Guerrero in 8th. Broderick and Corbett 9th and 10th. Well, folks, grab your stacks, grab your drinks. This is probably going to be a long race. Well, awesome. Kind of missed being out there on the track with Derek and with Dana both. Of course, whenever I first came in and started racing, both of those guys was real welcoming. Hey, you come join us down here. You know, it stays pretty quiet in here. But yeah, I kind of miss being out there with those guys. Of course, last night I ran a league last night that I normally don't run on Friday nights, but end up with a P2 finish myself last night. But green flag back out, folks. Here we go. Hopefully for a pretty good run this time. We'll see what happens. Jeremy Stanley right behind that 8 of Stephen Miles, trying to push him out in front of Anthony English. See what these guys can do. It looks like that 18 of Dwayne Corbett out to the outside. Brandon Pfeiffer in the middle. Side-by-side racing up here in the front. All the way back towards Vicente. Here comes Brandon Pfeiffer coming around on the outside. Looking at the middle is Alex Green. You leave a gap. These guys are going to take it. We're already up to about 230 miles an hour, folks. I'm seeing 235, 238. All the way back here to Adam Kilday, Everett Lane back here in 23rd. Rick Seabrands in 24th. These guys back here in the back are just kind of hanging out. It looks like we have lost Ryan Callahan, and we're wrecking again. That is the 27 of Sean Stevens turned around. That's going to bring out another caution. Well, let's take a look here. Looked like Sean got down on that apron a little bit as he was coming down on his line. I messed up. Hang on, folks. I hit the wrong button. I was trying to hit my quarter speed. We're going to get this rewound here. I'm going to try to just do it this way. It looked like everybody was pretty much able to miss him. All right, so here we go. Up about that second lane, the rear end starts to come around on him in the middle of the turn, gets down on the apron. And just gets him out of sort. And Dustin Logston able to go up high to miss that. Yeah, he kind of course, at 200 and something miles an hour, you're not going to get these things shut down that quick. Yeah, he got loose before he hit the line. And, of course, Thomas Lockwood up into the outside wall. Everett Lane diving down to miss it. Goes airborne himself. That was a rough ride. Probably got some damage on that car for that. Well, Sean's trying to get it locked down. Finally does. And we're back live. But guys, we got a new leader tonight. 56 of Mike Edgerton out front, opted not to go down pit road. Andy Brigante in a second. Anthony English is going to lead that group off of pit road in third. Miles in fourth, Bishop in fifth. Stanley in sixth, Shepard in seventh, Guerrero at eighth, Guerrero in ninth, and Gabe Butler in 10th. You know, I don't have a caution count on this one, but if I had to guess, this was probably our 9th caution of the night. We're close to it. Bubba Winningham coming off of pit road. Ryan Callahan still down in his pit box. Thomas Lockwood is back out on the track. Unfortunately, we've lost Dave Hunt, Peter DeBorja, and Richard Kuhn have all taken their vehicles behind the wall. I think they're trying to break the record of the cautions with 17. They're about halfway there now. But I do appreciate everybody tuning in. Of course, if you haven't already, please hit that like button. Only got 4 likes out there right now. Well, Ginger's usually pretty good about keeping track of our cautions. As we get ready, I think we're fixing to go back green here, folks. Nope, we are on the back stretch because there's that blue commitment cone. Ginger's already ran out of fingers and toes. We've had that many. So. Excuse me. Got me some coffee out here. Ice Capades 250. Might as well be. iRacing Super Speedway got a light coat of frost today, I guess. Well, here we go. Pace car will dive off down to the safety of pit road. I ain't seen too many pit road wrecks, but one. But here we go. Green flag in the flagman's head. Chevrolet green flag back out. Here we go, folks. Green flag racing as Andy Brigante gets a shot there by Stephen Miles. Mike Edgerton out front. Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely, Ginger. And we're 3 wide back here. Stephen Miles on the middle. That is the 49 of Kenny Bishop. Andy Brigante falling back to the back. Not liking what he's seeing is Brandon Piper. Right there, Eddie's saying, I'm going to stay on that high side. Good battle right now for the lead. We're going to go ahead and get our weather up here. We ain't done that. 1 mile an hour, 65-degree air temp. A little bit of overcast, a 69-degree track temp. We get our battle for position. Lockwood. It shows Lockwood, but that's Miles out front. Oh, big bump there. That was Vicente Guerrero getting tagged. It looked like by the 56 of Mike Edgerton. And we've got cars everywhere here, folks. We'll rewind this just a little bit. But that was going to put us on, where is Mr. Edgerton at? Anthony right behind Mike Edgerton. And Mike comes up. Net code. Folks, that was net code right there between Mike Edgerton and Vicente Guerrero. As we're looking back here, there is about a foot gap. That sent Vicente up in the wall and then Edgerton around. And then from there, it was just carnage. The 54, Dana Shepard somehow making it through. Dustin Logston, John Guerrero, Kenny Bishop. The 18, that is, I'm trying to find his number now. Dwayne Corbett. Anthony English getting sideways. Stuart Broderick, James Mayer, Sean Stevens, Chris Jordan, Ryan Callahan, Rick Sanchez involved, Doug Johnson going up to the high side, avoiding most of it. Zonto, Schroeder. Man, a lot of guys involved in that, folks. But we are back live. Stephen Miles will be your leader. Yeah, I agree. I'm giving Joshua a hard time. He said he was going to try to come in the booth with me a little bit tonight. he said he said that he's trying to install iRacing, and I said, you just don't want to come up in the booth with me. I understand. He said, wow. Yeah, unfortunately, we are seeing more yellow flag pace laps than we are green flag laps. So, but we're going to have several cars out of the race now. From the looks of it, it looks like Brandon Pfeiffer may be out, Dwayne Corbett, Ryan Callahan, John Guerrera, Andrew Schroeder, Peter DeBorja, and Richard Kuhn are all going to be out of the race, taking their cars behind the walls. So takes us from 32 drivers, looks like down to the 24. Well, pace car's going to have the most laps led. That's probably for sure. Mr. John out there in chat. John, sorry you're not ended. Had tough breaks, buddy. It's just, I don't think these cars are really set up for this track like they used to be. Again, I don't have a caution counter, which I'm probably sure we are getting close to the record, as the pace car dies off the pit road once again. Flagman's got the flag in his hand. Green flag, Chevy Land, green flag, back out once again. Stephen Miles with a great jump. Well, they may not have a bedtime ginger, but I might have one. We're kind of looking back through the field, keeping an eye on everything. Gabe Butler, he's just back here like, well, I'm going to do Gabe stuff back here in the back and see where that gets me. We're back up to the front, and we're running 3 wide. That's the 60 of Jeremy Stanley, the 007. Should be the 01. And we got a car blinking out. That's Andrew Zonto blinking out. Andrew does get a little bit squirrely there. Guys, we are hitting 236, 37 miles an hour. Well, Eric, if I start dreaming about broadcasting, then I'm going to have issues. Just saying. Well, we got a 4-car line up here at the front with Miles, English, Mayer, and Logston. But here comes that 3 of Alex Green, Jeremy Stanley, Jimmy Reynolds. Jeremy goes around. Excuse me. Collects Everett Lane, several other cars. Oh, Rick Sanchez. Excuse me, as Everett is still flipping and turning. Guys, we're going to have to, well, we're going to go cockpit on this one. Oh, hard shot by the 43 into that outside wall. Let's go back here, see what happened. Started right there with Jeremy Stanley. Just starts to go sideways. Andy Brigante, nowhere for him to go. Everett Lane, that's the car I want to keep an eye on. Now we're going to go cockpit with Everett here in just a second. Chris Jordan getting turned around. The 49 of Kenny Bishop locks it down. And then Stuart Broderick gets involved with Dana Shepard. Kind of looking to see what caused Dana to get sideways. Looked like it might have been he checked up and then Stuart Broderick right into the back end of him. Oh, good Lord, Eric. But, well, guys, I'll tell you right now, if you get motion sickness, you might not want to watch this. This is going to be in a real speed we're on board with Everett Lane. And he is upside down, nose to the ground. Man. A lot of damage to Everett's car. It looks like Everett may have taken his car behind the wall. Well, that's what we call a lawn dart here in Oklahoma, folks. That's a Pete. Well, Pete, you could always join me up here in the booth, buddy. I didn't know what happened to you. I know you was playing around with a pace car, trying to be one with the pace car. And then, whoop, you were gone. Well, Anthony English, your leader. Gabe Butler in second. Logston third. Green fourth. Bishop in fifth. Reynolds, Mayer, Stevens, Miles, Winningham, Brigante, Kilday, Johnson, Jordan, Sanchez, Seabrands, Edgerton. Here comes Stuart Broderick, Vicente Guerrero, Zonto, Stanley, and Shepard coming back out on the track. We get ready to go back green flag racing, we hope, for a while. These guys are coming down the back stretch. See, Pete, even Eric's telling you to jump up in the booth with me. Folks, don't forget, tomorrow night, Checker Flag Motorsports Speedway Monkeys will be live right here on MaxspeedTV, and I'm trying to pull up the schedule. And they will be at Daytona in the Gen 4 cars. This will be the LCQ Last Chance Qualifier. Guy that is, got several guys on the bubble as we get ready to go green flag racing here. Chevrolet green flag back in the air. Here we go, folks. Lap 43. We are just halfway there. But we will be at Daytona tomorrow night with the CFM guys. Hope everybody tunes in tomorrow night. Be looking forward to that race. Last chance qualifier, of course, the top 16 getting ready for the playoffs over there. And David O, if you're still in chat, how many drivers do we have on the bubble for tomorrow night? Anthony English still out front. Dustin Logston in second. Now he has been pushed out to the lead. Going to get a lead. Kenny Bishop right behind him. That looks like the 27 of Sean Stevens right there with him. James Mayer on that outside line. Rebecca. Got to be Everett's husband. Everett's wife. Because my wife's name is not Rebecca, it's Jamie. Now the reason why I say that, Rebecca, my last name is Lane as well. So 12 drivers are eligible for the 16th transfer spot for tomorrow night. So there would definitely be a battle between those 12 drivers to get that transfer spot. Now, they don't have to win the race on that transfer spot. They just got to finish better than the other 11 drivers. I didn't see Everett in the Discord, so he must have disconnected. I was going to visit with him to make sure he was all right. So you guys tune in tomorrow night for the CFM guys at Daytona. Of course, a lot of our drivers here will be racing there tomorrow night. So I know they always enjoy having everybody tune in. But right now, Dustin Logston, your leader. Kenny Bishop in second. Anthony English in third. Now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn some of this stuff off. I want you guys to see this driver telemetry. We're on board with Dustin Logston. 232 miles an hour in these Xfinity cars. And we got another caution. Well, let's see if it will bring it up. It looked like it happened. Oh, 78 of Chris Jordan touched that apron, got spun around. Back on the track, Stuart Broderick down on the apron to avoid. Now, Chris did slide back down to the apron. But that did bring out another caution, which, guys, I think we have probably got close to our record of 17 cautions. Not sure. Let's see. That is going to be. Let's see. Where is he at? He is coming off a pit road, so we're going to see if he will visit with Alex. Steve up in the booth. Got a copy there, buddy?
Yes, sir.
Well, got to ask you. You sent me the little tidbits. Have we broke the record yet?
We have not. We are 8 away.
Okay, so how many guys? Well, with SDK, I don't have my caution counter like I did with ATVO. Where are we at right now? We're 8 away, so we've got 9 cautions for tonight.
9 cautions so far, sir.
Well, you know, it's all, I think a lot of it is the way these cars are at this track. They do not like this track.
I don't think it's so much that they don't like the track. I think it's just it's just a different style than what a lot of these guys are used to out here. You know, we have a lot of guys who just strictly run super speedways, and honestly, this is racing almost like an in-between of like an oval and a super speedway. As long as you really lift in that corner and let it roll for just a second, like it's almost like a Michigan or something like that, it's been fine. But otherwise, it's you know, you're going around. You can't carry 250 miles an hour through this corners in this banking.
Well, and that's another thing we were talking about earlier, Alex. The speeds in these cars are just absolutely insane at this track.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's probably some of the fastest we've been. You know, I remember when we used to run these in the Gen 6 cars. I think the fastest we ever got this thing up to was probably about 265, 270 back before we started limiting the engine power to it. But yeah, this is definitely up there.
It's crazy. Well, man, good luck. Lights on the pace car are out, and I believe you were down there in 1, wasn't you?
Yep, we're right here getting ready to go on the backstretch, sitting here in P5, so hoping to stay here.
All right. Well, you were down in Team 1, wasn't you?
Yes, sir.
All right. We'll see you later, Alex.
Thank you, sir.
All right. So you heard it right there, guys. We are 8 away. We are at 9 cautions total. Mr. Luttrell out there in chat. Good to see you out there, Steve. Looks like Dana. Yeah, he is back on. Nope, he is still a lap down. All right, Eric, now that you know, you have got to help me keep track of the cautions. Oh, yeah. Yeah, he'll get it back, I'm sure. 8 to go. Ginger's on it now. You may be fired now, Eric. Oh, guys. Yeah, I do appreciate all of our fans as the pace car is down on pit road. Green flag back out. Chevyland green flag once again. Here we go. Dustin Logston getting a good jump on the start. Stephen Miles right there behind him. Anthony English as well in the mix with Kitty Bishop. Rick Sanchez back up into the mix, as well as Sean Stevens. Of course, the guy we just talked to, the 3 of Alex Green. But Doug Johnson making a run to that outside. Vicente Guerrero, that is Jeremy Stanley. All right, so Ginger says you ain't fired yet, Eric, but you make a mistake, you're done, buddy. Looking back up here on Jimmy Reynolds, Adam Kilday, Jeremy Stanley, Rick Seabrands out on that outside. But back up to the front, Rick Sanchez taking over the lead, and Zonto going around. That's going to bring out another caution. We're going to get on Zonto because that's what started as he goes around. Again, that's part of that lifted in the corner, letting that car roll. Sean Stevens somehow missing Zonto. James Mayer couldn't, though. He got tagged right there. Doug Johnson hard up to the outside wall, trying to miss. Bubba Winningham, somehow getting down on the apron low enough to avoid. We are back on our live screen here, folks. We'll get our top 10 pulled up right now. Looking at Dana Shepard, he did not get involved in that, so he is probably going to get the lucky dog to get back on to the lead lap. Well, Zonto's already ready to come up. Well, come on up, Zonto. We'll get you in here, buddy. Come on up to the podium winners, and I'll pull you in. Wrong one, but I got you there, bud. Andrew Zonto joining me up here in the booth. Well, Andrew, this is kind of a crazy race, and kind of sort of madness, bud.
Yeah, I did not expect this race to go this way.
Well, you know, we've been talking about it. I don't think it really is a car setup like Alex was saying. You know, you just can't go full throttle on this track. It's more got to be a little more technical in the corners, especially at, 240 plus mile an hour.
Yeah, you gotta. My thing was lifting before the corner. The thing is that if you lift entering the corner to like midway through the corner, the car just wants to start turning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, two of the three wrecks I've been in has been when I self-spun, and I can only blame myself for that.
Well, I mean, it is, like I said, I mean, these cars are not used to going 240 plus mile an hour.
No.
They're just not built for that. They're not built for the downforce. They don't have the downforce. Now, it'd be different if you were, say, in, a F1 or a Dallara or something like that, an Indy car, because those cars are made for those speeds. They're made for that, to have that downforce to keep them stuck to the track.
Yeah.
So, but go ahead.
It's also like the way how the turns are because of just the banking alone. When you enter, if you enter from all the way from the top end to go arcing down in, your car's basically midair because you're basically going from the top end of the track to the bottom end, which is like about like maybe a 10-foot difference in height. So your car does get a little bit airborne. And it's different from the trucks to where the trucks go just that right speed to where, like they can arc perfectly. They can hit the corners right. They will never get loose or anything like that, even on older tires. But it's when we go a little bit faster, the cars are going to go so much easier.
Yeah. Well, again, I mean, you're getting that weight transfer with these cars that you don't get with the trucks. You know, so to me, and Eric's agreeing, so don't use the apex of the turn on this track.
Don't.
So, but you know, like I said, I've run this track, you know, a few times, and yeah, you almost, not necessarily in these cars, but in the trucks, you know, the trucks you can pretty much go wide open in, but you got to be a little bit more gentle on the throttle here with these cars, and just be a little more smooth. And we got Jeremy Stanley blinking out, which is something I have not ever seen him do.
Yeah.
Well, the pace car is down off the pit road once again, Andrew. We are in the Geico restart zone. Chevyland green flag back out, folks. Here we go. As Anthony English getting a big shove by the 81 of Logston. Anthony's like, I'm going to the bottom. Right behind Kenny Bishop. So Bishop is your leader. English in second, Logston third, Green in fourth, Stephen Miles in fifth. Again, we have lost several drivers tonight. Started with 32. I think we're down to, looks like
I think we're down to
21.
20.
That's what I'm seeing. We got 21 drivers left, lap 55 of 84. Well, Andrew, what are they going to have to do to have some? Ooh, a big wiggle there from Anthony. What are they going to have to do to have a long green flag run here, bud?
They got to take it nice and easy. They got to. I believe they should all work together. Give them that just enough space. Just try to log in some green flag laps. And they all got to give each other space. But there's a lot of times up front where when they do get racy, it's good, clean racing. A lot of the wrecks have been in the back, but since we're getting closer near the end, you know, a lot more people are going to be aggressive up front here.
Now, when you say give them space, you talk about, you know, if you're pushing, lift a little sooner, let that car in front kind of lift or roll through the corner?
Yeah.
Okay.
So early on in these wrecks that we've been having, it was kind of where like somebody will start like lifting before they get to the entrance of the corner just to like restart their speed. Because like if you max out about couple hundred yards before
we're gonna have
before you
another
hit the
caution
corner.
here maybe. Adam Kilday getting loose. I just went back to him and seen where he got loose, but no caution. It's still green flag. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt. But we are still green flag back up to the front. Go ahead and finish your thought there, Andrew. Sorry about that.
It's just giving each other space. Like currently right now, you kind of see that bottom lane. They're giving each other about half a car length of space between each other so that they can adjust their speeds entering the corner. And then when they're exiting the corner, the car really doesn't want to get loose. And so that's kind of where like everyone starts getting back up together. It's going to be interesting how the final lap is going to be. Are people going to be on their bumpers, or are they going to try to work together to get to that front stretch?
Well, kind of looking through here, I see what you're saying, but these cars, even by themselves, are getting some heck of a runs by themselves.
They do. The high line, in my opinion, if we had a whole bunch of other cars left, the high line kind of like comes in a weird special way all the way up by the wall, and it's almost to a point to where you can clear the two bottom lanes and you just have that bottom lane by the yellow line that you just have to worry about. But again, and there goes Miles. He saves that.
Wow.
Whoa.
How did he save that?
Now, definitely they will get green flag pit stops. The fuel tank is about 13 laps of fuel. But we never really got that chance to run it out. Typically, we've only been able to run 3 to 4 laps. But now, since that amazing save by Miles and the field is now completely spread out, we are definitely going to get green flag pit stops. And this is probably going to be your main race to the end.
I'm sitting here trying to look and see, trying to look back through the field as Dana Shepard and Chris Jordan are making their way around. But we got another big group back here with Gabe Butler, Andy Brigante, Adam Kilday, Bubba Winningham, Sean Stevens. Sean Stevens and James Mayer is back here. Bubba is with that group with Andy. Doug Johnson is up there with them, but I think Doug may be a lap or 2 down.
Yeah. So coming down to lap 61, they have now ran 6 full laps under green. So they are about halfway on fuel. So they got about another 6, maybe 7 laps of fuel left.
Okay. Yeah, I think they're still running like 43% fuel. So we got somebody coming off of fuel. I'm not sure who that was. Trying to see. That's Sean Stevens. Looks like he may be coming down pit road. Yeah, he is coming. Sean Stevens coming down pit road. Now, I don't know if this is a planned pit stop or what's going on. I'm going to keep an eye on him.
The weird thing is now, when these green flag pit stops do happen, who's going to take tires, who's not going to take tires? Are tires really going to matter in this?
Well, he's taking right sides now. He's got the left side up, so he's taking 4 tires and fuel. So this was maybe a pit stop strategy with 22 to go, but I don't think even now, even at 22 to go, if you're getting 13 laps, he's going to have to pit at least one more time.
Yeah, but by himself, he's definitely going to burn through that fuel, so it's going to be about 2 more times.
Yeah, I would agree. I'm trying to see. I'm not seeing if so. Sean Stevens looks like he is going to be a lap down at least. But right now, you got Kenny Bishop out front, kind of in a single file line all the way back to Bishop, English, Logston, Stanley, Guerrero, Miles, Broderick, Sanchez, but Rick Seabrand's looking to the outside, coming back down in the line in front of Jimmy Reynolds. Dana Shepard in 11th, Chris Jordan in 12th. And then back here in this group, you got Gilday, Butler, Brigante, Winningham, and Johnson, but Johnson is a lap down. Looks like Stevens is 2 laps down.
So right now they just completed 10 laps. So they should be pitting either this time by or next time by. So it's going to be interesting. Everyone's kind of bunched back up. So entering pit road is a lot tricky because these cars do not stop on a dime like the trucks.
That is true. But they do stop better than the Gen 4s. Dana Shepard coming down pit road Ooh, I don't know. He may have gotten a black flag on that pit entrance. May have got him speeding. Hopefully not. We'll find out. We see your Tony the Tiger card down there on pit road, Andrew. But I do appreciate you coming up here. I thought we were going to have Josh come up in the booth with us. But for some reason, he's trying to download iRacing.
Oh, here they come. Oh, and here we go. Wrecking the pit road. Looks like it's only a one car.
Didn't see who it was.
It was Jeremy Stanley.
Ooh, and he's
got turned.
Looks like he might have some damage because it looks like he's crab walking a little bit. He
Yeah,
does
I'm trying
have
to say who. Yep, that was Miles.
Oh, Stephen Miles involved in it as well.
Yeah, this is. Yeah, Stanley. It looks like he was trying to arc it a little bit more into the corner, or through the exit.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess Miles had a late reaction to not pit, and yeah.
Miles is coming down pit road now. You do see he does have some damage to the front of his car and to the back.
Yeah. I think the back is probably from a later wreck, but could be wrong about that. Oh, it looks like he did use his fast repair.
I was fixing to say, he used his fast repair. We are getting back out here. Anthony English, still your leader coming off pit road, but Stephen Miles did have the speed coming off to get around him. So Stephen is your leader right now. But where are the guys that stayed out?
The guys who pitted the lap before, they are right now exiting 2. So, oh wow, just that speed difference.
Yeah.
That's like about a 40-mile-an-hour speed difference.
Kitty pushing 234 miles an hour with Dustin Logston. Now, these guys should be getting ready. I thought maybe they were going to pit this time, but maybe they're going to have to pit this. At least they're going to have to pit this next time. I just don't see them having enough fuel to make it more laps.
They're trying to at least edge the fuel a little bit. Because it's, 84 laps, so 85 laps in total, minus 12, 13 laps of fuel. You gotta come in lap 72.
Yeah, we are 16 to go right now, so Eric made a good point out there. Less fuel is a lighter car, which is a faster car. But when you lose that weight in the back end, though, that may cause problems with that rear end slide down a little bit more.
Yeah.
So we have to be a little bit more careful. Now, it's been a while since I've run this track. You can see, folks, when they're entering the corner and that little bit of an exit, there's a bump. Ooh, as Bishop is getting a little bit loose, he's getting pushed by 81. I noticed it down on that in the first 2 lanes, maybe first 3 lanes. The bump is a little more pronounced down there. As a driver on this track, Andrew, do you prefer to be down low or be up on that higher where maybe it's a little bit smoother?
Well, when it comes to typical restricted plate racing, you kind of want to be on the bottom because nobody's going to pass you on the inside. You have basically a whole lane that's protected. It is the shortest way around the track. You do save a little bit more fuel, but if you want speed, you want momentum, you want to go to that second lane. Talladega, you also kind of want to go for that third lane. But Daytona's too tight of a track. Here, it's a wild card. In my opinion, I feel the highest lane before the wall to the wall is probably the best lane if you have the right amount of cars in the pack and you have the right draft speed and everything like that. But due to the cars that we have now, I would say your best bet is probably the bottom.
Well,
Yeah, people are going to get a run on you, but when people start going out of line, especially how these cars are handling at these tracks, like I haven't seen people getting loose on the bottom lane, but definitely like a lane above, people have been getting loose.
Well,
So.
as far as smoothness though, where that bump may not jerk your steering wheel, probably about that third lane up from the bottom. But you have to be at, I'm trying to think of the words here to say, and I just went blank.
I mean, like Daytona, Daytona, for example. Yeah, the whole track is bumpy, but the smoothest part of the track is the high side, right near the wall. But the problem is the track is so tight that unless you can drive a steady car and you got people behind you who are steady, it's going to work for you. But in reality, you don't know who you're going to be with. It's just the high side's not that it's not that worth it. It's more you want to be in that middle lane.
Well, David O, that's kind of what got me sidetracked. I was reading his comment. He said, watch the 4 car, his entrance. He's kind of on that third lane, but then kind of lets it float down as we got a car into the wall. I think that was Sean Stevens. But he's kind of floating that car down where he's on the smooth part, gets into the corner, and then drops it down to that low line. As we're on him right now, let's get a chase here. See what he's talking about. See how his car is not bouncing much into the corner.
Yeah, he's driving it pretty smooth. I'm on his onboard on my end.
So as he's coming down the straightaway, he's in the trap.
He is clutching it.
Yeah, I heard.
Okay, I see what he's doing. Yeah, he's clutching it, getting off the gas a little bit, letting the draft pull his car, saving the fuel, steps out, loses a little bit of time, but then gasses it back up right as soon as he hits the corner.
And he's still getting a run. Yeah, you can see that car is handling that bump a lot smoother than the other guys who's just staying down on that bottom line. Good catch, David O. I'm glad you pointed that out. That was something I was kind of, rolling over in my mind on how to defeat that bump. And right there you can see, and we got one spinning right in front of him.
Saved it.
Nope.
That was Stewart.
That Stewart, he did save it. Wow.
Yep. Vincent did give him a little bit of a bump to straighten him out, but he saved that.
Yeah, he did. And here we go, folks. We are 9 to go. Vicente Guerrero currently in third.
But there is one more pit stop, so it just depends on who can save him the right amount of fuel, who can have the faster pit stop, the cleaner pit stop. Oh, caution is out.
Caution is out. Let's see. We're going to go back and take a look here. It took me back here to Sean Stevens
Jordan.
and James Mayer. Sean Stevens got up high, was trying to come back down. The rear end comes back around. And I'm looking to see, you say Christopher Jordan?
Yeah, he got loose on the exit while exiting pit road. Completely sideways, stopped for a split second. The car was just on the racing surface, so that could have probably brought out the yellow.
Well, I think what brought out the yellow was Sean Stevens because he was completely sideways on the track. Yeah, that was that. I think that was after the fact that bump got him, but he did
Yeah, I'm
maintain.
watching Sean. I didn't see him go sideways.
We are back live, folks. Kenny Bishop, your leader. Dustin Logston, second. Vicente Guerrero, third. Stephen Miles in fourth. Anthony English rounding out your top five.
So you know everything that we just said before.
Forget it.
Forget it. Toss it up. Throw it out. We're basically in the beginning of the race again.
Yeah, because all these guys will probably come down pit road and get fuel and tires or just fuel. But here's the question, though, Andrew. Do you get enough to finish the race? Or do you get enough to...
Absolutely.
Just for maybe 2 green-white checkers and that's it?
Nah, I say fill it up. There's, 15 cars on the lead lap. It's going to be 16. You can gain a lot of position through the draft. Not a lot of cars are on the track, only 21 drivers. So I say it's worth it. Pit, fill her up. You're good for past the regular distance for a good bit. We are going to get plenty of cautions, probably, unless, we started not wrecking anymore.
Right.
Who knows? But I think it's important, just fill her up. Whole new ball game. It's all about surviving, getting to that front end, and leading it on the final lap.
Well, right now, English is your leaders. Miles in second, Guerrero third, Bishop fourth, Logston fifth, Sanchez in sixth, Green in seventh, Seabrands in eighth, Butler is in a ninth, Reynolds in a 10th. I didn't see Hunter out there tonight either.
Hunter Reynolds?
Yep.
I haven't heard anything. If anything came up, I think he just didn't want to do iRacing Super Speedway. iRacing Super Speedway it's a mixed bag. People like the chaos and some people don't. It's like Atlanta. People, love Atlanta because it's Atlanta, but then people don't like the super speedway racing factor of it. It's good for some cars, like the trucks. The trucks drive so good at all these tracks. The Xfinity cars, really only regular Daytona and Talladega. 08, these cars are really hard to handle. iRacing Super Speedway, very hard to handle.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of people's preferences.
Well, like Andrew said, guys, this is going to be a whole new ball game. Full tank of fuel, and man, it's going to be a drag race. 6 laps to go. Actually, be 5 laps. It'll be 4 laps when we hit the restart. And right now, it looks like we have most of our drivers. Well, Doug Johnson still looks like to be a lap down. Excuse me. But Chris Jordan is the last car on the lead lap, I believe. Or nope, that'd be Doug Johnson back on the lead lap. Unlimited up to 15, David, is what the setting is. So,
and by how the way we've been wrecking early on in the race, we'll probably be here for another 2 hours.
Well, let's hope not, because right now we are 6 away from breaking the all-time OP record here of cautions. We are at 17 for the record for iRacing Super Speedway, and we are at 11 cautions right now. But again, we got to give a shout out to our race sponsor, Fish Guys, Mike Edgerton and the Fish Guys. Unfortunately, Mike is still in the race, but he is several laps down, I believe. But big shout out.
Mike Edgerton, 4 laps down.
Who is Edgerton's 4 laps down? Okay.
Yeah.
Boy, that pace car's going to do tires after this race. Well, here we go, folks. Back in the restart zone. Chevy Lane green flag back out once again on the loud pedal. Hopefully, they can get 4 laps in with no cautions.
So, I know we're back underway, but who do you think who should pick?
I got to go with my boy English. I mean, he's in a good spot.
Back to back?
Oh, yeah. I mean, hey, listen. I've watched Anthony. Of course, this was before his surgery. But, Anthony was on a tear, had 4 wins in a row. And, I mean, he's got a good pusher behind him with Vicente.
I think it's going to be Rick. I think Rick found the secret sauce. As I say that, he just got put. Whoa!
That was close, and then he gets cut off there by the 81.
Yeah, I would say my second pick would probably be. I would say Dustin. I don't think he's been involved in a wreck, so I think he's got nothing to lose.
Well, no, I have to agree. I don't think I've seen him have any damage. Ginger's out there. Did they make Anthony English bionic with that new heart? Racing Superman since his return. Oh, man. We have some of the greatest fans, Andrew. Ooh, easy. That was Sanchez almost getting into the side of the 14 of Vicente Guerrero. But we are 2 to go here, folks. See a lot of guys buying and jockeying.
Oh, there goes Richard!
Sanchez around. Well, that's going to bring out our caution.
I don't want nobody in the chat to say that I jinx Dustin. Nobody.
Well, let's take a look.
That
is
the announcer's jinx.
That's
the first for me.
Hey, you said it, not me. Well, here we go. We're going to take a look at this. But it took us back. We're going on a far chase here. We can see Logston right behind Sanchez. Man, he was actually loose before the corner and just whipped it around.
Yep.
Ooh, Alex Green getting a piece of course, Dustin getting tagged afterward. Alex hard head
Sorry,
first
Dustin.
into that wall. Unfortunately, man, well, Eric is right. This will be GWC attempt number 1 as we get into OP overtime here, folks, at iRacing Super Speedway. Stephen Lane up in the booth. Joining me is the one and the only, the 06 of Andrew Zonto to finish out the race. Not the night Andrew really wanted to have, but definitely glad that he is taking the time to come up here with me, and I appreciate you, Andrew, for bringing some driver insight up into the booth with me, buddy.
Of course, I know the whole broadcaster thing of being lonely in the booth. You won't have a co-host, or the race gets too boring. I mean, our races never get boring. Our racing gets fun around here, but sometimes you need that extra wheel.
It's always nice to have an extra set of eyes, because I could be looking at something up at the front while your co-commentator, play-by-play, color commentator, what do you want to call, is maybe looking at the guys back here in the back, as we see Doug Johnson getting the wave around. So that will put him back on the lead lap, I'm pretty sure. Well, tomorrow night, guys, just a reminder, CFM Checker Flag Motorsports Speedway Monkeys will be live. It is their last chance qualifier. Now, Andrew, do you race on Sunday nights?
Sadly, I do not.
Okay.
Sundays, I do some Fire One training. And straight after that, it's like a whole 8-hour long day. After that, I go and I work the night shift from 5 or 6 o'clock all the way till basically midnight. So I'm basically up for about 24 hours.
Okay, so your volunteer fire department, you actually go into the station and stay there for your shift.
Well, for volunteers, we don't have shifts. It's just whoever shows up can show up. Paid volunteers or paid guys, they have shifts, and there's certain fire departments which they're half and half. So they'll have guys stay at the station for a shift or two for 48 hours, and then it's another set of full-time guys, and they rotate. But they also have a whole bunch of volunteer people on the side.
Oh, okay.
Now I am sponsoring the last race of the season, the championship race. So pre-race, I'll discuss more about the whole fireman job, I guess you could call it, or the firefighting, and about my station, and some quick facts for everybody, and what we do, and the hours of training, the days, weeks, months of training that we do to do our best and protect people, property, and lives.
Well, I spent a majority of my life in public service as a volunteer fireman and as a full-time police officer, so I understand where you're coming from there. Guys, if you guys ever get and I'm talking to our viewers out there, if you ever get a chance and they have your local volunteer or fire department is doing a fundraiser, please go see them and contribute, because especially with some of the smaller fire departments, we don't have the funding that some of the big city guys have, and we have to either come up with grants or our annual dues that people pay to pay for training or equipment. There's a lot, and Andrew can definitely testify to this. There's a lot of maintenance, and so Ginger's out there. She's the assistant chief, second assistant chief, but there's a lot of maintenance involved in keeping those apparatuses up and going. As we get back to the Geico Restart Zone GWC Temp number 1 Chevrolet green flag in the air. Here we go. And Cody Nagel's out there in chat rooting on Vicente. Vicente is.
Let's go, Cody!
Yeah. Good to see Cody out there. But right now, Stephen Miles out front. But here comes that run by Vicente and English. And they are getting a good run to the outside. Now, Anthony is probably going to drop it down in front of Miles. Ooh, big push there by Miles onto English. Oh, Vicente falling back. Oh, Miles blinking out. But here we go, back to the start-finish line. White flag in the air, folks. Here we go. We're going to finish this up on the first GWC attempt. Of course, my pick is out front, but here comes Stephen Miles to the outside with Kenny Bishop. Vicente right there behind English.
We'll see how aggressive they get.
Do what?
I said we'll see how aggressive they get. Oh, look at Gabe Butler in the middle.
Butler in the middle, but here comes Stephen Miles dropping it down in front of him, kind of checking things up. But man, we are 3 wide, but we're door banging Miles around, English going to be out front. Vicente Guerrero second.
Vicente's with the run. He's blocking. Oh, Vicente!
Oh, no.
Vicente! Oh!
English, Vicente,
He got the
Kilday.
bump.
Your top three. We're going to take a look at this, folks, because that was close. That was close.
It was.
Fortunately, it looks like Vicente had it, but according to the timing screen, let me get to a chase view because we're going to have to look from the side here to get a look at that start-finish line.
I think on my screen, I think it's Anthony.
Well, I've got on my timing screen, I got English, Guerrero, and Kilday.
5 1,000ths of a second.
And it was English by a front spoiler. Unbelievable.
I want you to go back to when they come out of 4.
Okay, so let me rewind this. Okay, this is where Miles, where is Miles at? There we go. Because you had Gabe Butler, Stephen Miles, they're coming into 3 and 4.
Yeah, Miles just got loose. And it's just that quick overcorrection and killed his car.
Yep, he was spinning before the contact with Gabe Butler. But again, looking back up to the front here with Anthony English.
Now, when you hit the replay, watch watch Kilday. Kilday goes with Vincent to the bottom. Then, about halfway from the exit to the start-finish line, he goes back up and bumps English. That is the winning move.
Yep, we were just watching that.
Gave English the win. If he stays right behind Vincent, Vincent wins by a car length. But for him to move up at that split second, that gave English the win. That is amazing.
Well, see, right there is where Vicente blocks Kilday, tries to get that push from Kilday to get in front of Anthony, had him up there. But, like you said, right there in that restart zone, Kilday jumps up, gives Anthony that shove, and just enough for Anthony to get that win. Well, hang tight, folks. We're going to step away, get our top 3 up here for our MaxspeedTV post-race interview, but we will be right back. All right, folks, we are back. We got caught up with our top three. We are going to, unfortunately, it won't. Let's see here. Yeah, our third place finisher. We'll get him down into the booth here real quick. Will be Mr. Adam Kilday. Adam, man, what an exciting finish. Now, me and Andrew was watching that last little lap out of turn 4. Vicente looked like he was going to throw a block, and you just jumped up behind Anthony, gave him a shove, and got him the win.
Dude, I was like, I didn't even think I was going to make it to the end of this race. I was probably more so just going to be happy if I make it past the halfway mark, because at the halfway mark, there was only maybe like 20 cars left, dude.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, well, if I wreck out here, at least I get like a top 20 or a top 18 or something like that. But we chilled for the rest of the race, just rode around, had some pretty ridiculous mistakes on pit road on my end. But no, at the very end, on that final lap, what was it, like coming out of 4? I was trying to go for it myself, but Vince was moving around in front of me, and I wasn't left with really anywhere else to go behind him. So the only option was really to, I guess, maybe go third lane and try to pass from as like the third car up. But that wouldn't have guaranteed me or Anthony a win, because Vince had the momentum on the yellow line. So I was like, well, I'm just gonna bump this guy, this 44 Fox car, and try to surge him back up ahead and see what happens. So
Well,
yeah, he barely got Vince just in time at the very end.
It was by a front spoiler is what he got him by. I think it was, what'd you say, 8? Well, I've got 8/10 of a second, or 800ths of a second.
I got 5 1,000s.
Jesus, dude.
So that's how close it was. I mean, it was insane. But, well, I want to ask you, before I let Andrew ask you anything, if Miles hadn't, he self-spun, do you think if he hadn't have done that, if there would have been a little bit different outcome? Yes? No? Maybe?
Hello? My headset's been disconnecting from the PC off and on all night, and I don't know what's going on. But Corsair says,
I don't know if you heard my question or not, but Miles had a run with I think it was Logston right behind him, but he self-spun coming into turn 3. I mean, they had a good run. You think that if he hadn't have done that, the outcome may have been a little bit different?
Probably. I'm looking at it right here. Like, I guess Gabe was behind him. I guess he could have made it stuck. Probably that second lane would have moved, and Miles would have had the momentum. But it seems like with the way it is, I kind of figured out towards the end, like there's a threshold that you could just barely push in like the turns or whatever, and if you just barely push it a bit too hard, it just knocks loose. And, yeah. So it definitely was a handful tonight, though, for sure. But yeah, it probably would have been a 3-wide drag race on the front stretch coming to the line. So who knows how that would have went.
Well, awesome job, Adam. Andrew, you got anything for Adam?
Well, I would say that, like, I never thought I would say the winning move of the race did not win. Your decision chose the winner.
Yeah.
Like how? I wouldn't even choose to pick either Vincent or English. I would just try to go get the win, but you made a choice. You made a friend, but you could have made Vincent remember that.
Well, yeah, Vince knows we're teammates, so that's just teammate stuff for super speedways. So me and Anthony being teammates, But yeah, if it was him and Miles, Vince probably would have done the same thing for Miles because they're teammates, and it's just the way it goes for the super speedway side of things. So yeah.
Yeah.
Well, awesome job, Adam. Man, congratulations. P3 tonight. Good points night for you, buddy. Any final thoughts, shout outs, thanks you want to give?
Yep, we'll do a huge shout out to this race tonight. I hope you all enjoyed the show. We'll shout out to the guys I was running with in Discord tonight. Some guys that definitely deserved a better finish that unfortunately weren't here up until the final stretch. But we'll shout out to OP League admins, those guys that are keeping this train rolling. And then shout out to MaxspeedTV on YouTube, and Stephen Lane for your broadcasting, and Xanto jumping in for co-commentary. So heck yeah. And congrats on Anthony English for win number 2 on the season.
Back to
So
back.
I think it's
yep.
back to back.
Yep.
Is it back to back?
Yep.
Dang. Yep, 2 dubs.
Yep. So awesome job, Adam. Congratulations, buddy. Go celebrate, and we'll see you tomorrow night.
Sounds good, man. You take it easy.
All right, buddy.
All right.
Well, all right. Well, that's going to bring us to our P2 finisher. No Presta.
Whole lot of no Presta. Oh man, this is a
what a race. What a finish.
Yeah.
I mean, that you had that line, you dropped it down in front of Adam, kind of threw a block on him, didn't know what he was going to do, but he kind of went up behind the 44, but gave him a little push right there at the end. But man, what a race. It was kind of a caution fest. We had some people out there in chat maybe rooting on for 6 more cautions to tie the record, but hey, we didn't quite get there. But man, these cars were a handful tonight.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like the entries of the turns, if you don't like burp the throttle a little bit, just to take it easy on the entry, if you're overdriving, if you're getting a good run onto the draft up front of you, I mean, you don't lift, you're gonna sell spin. I've done it myself tonight. I mean, I sell spun. I don't know if there was somebody else spinning in front of me that brought out that one caution. If I did bring out the caution, man, thought that was my bad.
Well, I'll ask you the same thing that I asked Adam. You guys had that line on the inside, but man, Stephen Miles had him, and it said it was Gay, but I thought it was Dustin Logston that was behind him coming into turn 3. Stephen self-spun. If he hadn't have done that, it might have been a whole different outcome.
Well, I think that I went back and looked at it, and it looked like some sort of net code. I don't know if it was English. Net coding in his left rear, and it just shot him. It just got him loose, start turning him.
I did not see that.
I did. I went back and looked at it, and it just looked like it did look like also like he was entering that bump, but it also looked like a net code at the same time. So, but yeah, that sucked for him. I mean, he had a good night. I mean, he was up front all night long. I wish my teammate was up here. At the end, maybe we would have had a shot at it because it was like 2-1, and obviously I didn't get the outcome what I needed.
Well,
but good for them.
Yeah, but still good outcome for you. I mean, good points tonight, getting that P2 finish. So that's definitely going to help your points for the season. I know you would have liked to had that win, but like you said, it's kind of when you got 2 teammates, that run together, you kind of have to expect something like that.
Yeah, I expected it. That's why I went down to block, and I thought I did a hell of a job blocking him down there on the bottom. I thought he gave me a good shot there where I had the momentum coming to that start-finish line, and obviously it just parachuted back as soon as he jumped out.
Well, I wouldn't say that. You still had the speed. It's just that last second bump that Adam gave Anthony got Anthony just, and my timing was a little bit off compared to what Andrew had. Andrew said it was what 58
5/1000ths.
5/1000ths of a second. Uh, but I mean, he got you by a front spoiler.
Well, I think iRacing's got that thing, the start finish line all catawampas. They need to cut it down kind of at an angle down to the bottom lane, so like that'll be a fair run after that.
maybe put that top line a little more to the
Yeah.
left of the flag stand. Is that what you're
Yeah,
saying?
that's right. That yeah.
a little
Bottom
more
down to the
45
left.
degree
Yeah.
angle.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, Andrew, you got anything for Vicente tonight?
He honestly, besides one spin I saw out of you, you ran a clean race. You did everything right while everyone else was having issues. But well, what was your key on to not like self spinning?
Like I said, you can't overdrive that entry of that turn, and not be kind of close to somebody in front as far as pushing them on that entry. Because if you can't see that entry point, you're gonna overdrive that corner. And here with this setup tonight with this car, I mean, I've seen a lot of cars just self spinning there on that entry.
Well, we've seen a lot of that tonight. Driver error, but it is a technical, what I call a technical super speedway track here at iRacing Super Speedway. But man, Vicente, awesome job, brother. Glad to see you at least getting the podium there. Going to go ahead and turn the mic over to you. Any final thoughts, shout outs, things you want to give before you go celebrate, buddy?
For sure. I want to give you guys a shout out. Can't wait to watch this one back and see everything that happened tonight. I want to give a shout out to OP and all their admins for what they do tonight. My teammate Miles for racing with me tonight. My mom, dad out in Arizona. My family, my wife for letting me do what I do here tonight. And definitely this Budweiser to give me the extra motivation every night when I come on board.
A little bit of liquid courage.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. You gotta have the liquid courage, especially here.
Oh, well, Vicente, awesome job, buddy. Go celebrate, and will we see you tomorrow night for CFM, or are you taking a night off?
I'll probably take the night off. No, I don't know where I'll be.
Well, if we
Tomorrow's
see you
Sunday. Sim 500. I started this new league. And it's called Sim 500, but
yep.
it's like intermediate racetrack with the ARCA cars. So trying something new, but yeah, I'll be over there that night.
All right, buddy. Well, congratulations. I know we'll definitely see you Monday night. Vicente, go celebrate, brother, and we will see you Monday.
Sounds good. Thank you, guys.
All right. Well, that is going to bring us to our race winner, Mr. Back-to-Back, 2 in a row. The Bionic Man is what we're going to start calling him. Mr. Anthony English getting the back-to-back wins. Well, we caught it live tonight. Man, that last little shove by Adam, well, that got you the win, brother.
Yeah, that definitely did it. I knew I was going to be a sitting duck being out so far as I was after they started wrecking in the turn 3 and 4. I knew I was going to be a sitting duck. So I'm sitting there thinking I'm going to finish like third because him and Vincent had such a run. And I didn't want to kill us trying to overblock. So I just kind of just was going to settle, and yeah, Adam just gives me one hell of a bump. Like that's the one bump to rule them all. I had to say, because it literally put me back up to speed with Vince and barely was able to nudge him out. So all credit tonight's win definitely goes to Adam.
Well, Ginger Parent, actually, I'm going to give her credit for the bionic part, because she was wondering if after your surgery, if they just made you the Bionic Man for coming back so quickly after surgery, and now you're back on the English freight train, getting back-to-back wins. But brother, it is like I told you, pre-race. Uh, Love seeing you back out on the track. So glad you're back out there. Just take it easy. Don't overdo it though.
It feels good. It feels great to be back, and I love the jokes that you guys are having with it and stuff like that. Because it might seem like that, but I'll tell you what. Tonight, I'm definitely like I felt it a little bit Saturday night after Atlanta, and then I felt it a little bit Sunday. And I didn't feel it as much Wednesday, but this track with how you have to drive it with this car, I was I was up on that wheel all night instead of just chilling for most of it, and so I'm definitely feeling it a little bit more tonight than I have any of the other nights. So I think pop me a damn Tylenol here and chill out when we're done with this stuff.
I do
But
not blame you.
But yeah, I mean, I can't thank everybody more than enough for the support that they showed me going through this time. The whole community, from everybody watching at home to the racers, the admins, and everything. Everybody's been super supportive of this process that I've gone through, and I really do not wish this process on anybody in the world. Anybody listening, if you have the ability to go get yourself checked out, go get yourself checked out. A simple high cholesterol test and some pills can save you what ended up happening to me at the age of 42, and that's having a quadruple bypass. So, anytime you get to, I'd say about like 35 on, you guys need to start checking yourselves out a little bit more, because you don't want to go through this. This is the worst thing I've ever gone through in my entire life. So, just being able to survive the surgery and have all the support that I have from families, friends, broadcasters, the whole community as a whole, and stuff like that. It's been overwhelming and definitely much appreciated.
Well, that just, we've said it before, and I'm going to say it again. That just shows the tight knit group that we have, in this community, in iRacing in general, especially in OP, CFM. Of course, they kind of have a shared roster, so to speak. A lot of the OP guys will run CFM, CFM guys run OP. But it just shows that the camaraderie and the love that we have for each other, and you know, it just shows exactly what we do and what we think of each other. So, but yeah, definitely glad to have you back. Of course, like I told you earlier, I did go get checked out myself. Got it, everything looked good. So, we're working on some things and hopefully get that going. But, Andrew, go ahead, brother. Mike's yours. If you got anything for Anthony.
Well, Anthony, again, just welcome back. Going through what you went through, I can't even imagine it. From the struggle to the triumph of coming back, starting to feel yourself again, and just going out and winning back-to-back races. I mean, who needs that one race, the one race cut off? You're basically gonna, in my opinion, you're gonna point yourself in. You're gonna have probably the most wins this season again, and honestly, you're probably my pick for the championship.
Well, like I told a couple of guys in the chat after the race, your defending champ is back. And it makes me really happy because when all this stuff originally started, I literally almost had a mental breakdown just to the fact that I wasn't going to have the ability to defend that championship. And then I literally get better just in time with the way holidays and everything fell to where I'm gonna have a shot at it. So that's probably one of the big bright sides of a lot of it, is just being able to have the chance now to actually try to defend that championship.
Well, Anthony, we love you, brother. Glad you're back. Man, just can't. I can't believe the turnaround and just the back-to-back victories. Going to look for, a victory maybe tomorrow night if you feel up to racing. But right now, the mic is all yours. Any final thoughts, shout outs, things you want to give?
Oh man, I'm gonna be here forever. The first two or three I have to shout out right off the bat, right off the top, is my fiance Rachel. Everything that she's endured and went through with actually having to be side by side with me, going through all of this. Just sleeping alone and not being able to be at the hospital, and then now a lot of the taking care of me and stuff like that, and like she has the last the month or so. So without her, I couldn't have got through um, most of this. And then my dad, my old man Bruce, he went through this last year. I know his pain more than ever now, and I thought I had 20 years before I ended up having to deal with it. But big shout out to him. He's actually been running my landscape business and everything for me, and doing all that for me while I've been out. So he's been working his own job and pretty much doing my job on top of it. So I owe him a lot. I owe him a huge thanks. Um, Everybody that's supported me through getting better and through this whole process. I mean, I owe a lot of people. It's way too many to list. I'll be here all night long if I end up listening to everybody. Um, but everybody knows who they are. Everybody that donated to the GoFundMe to help me try to stay going and survive and all that stuff. I mean, it's been tough, but I think I'll barely get through all of this without ended up not losing the house and stuff. And that was like our main concern. And then just on to the normal stuff. Steven and Andrew, you guys broadcast, and Steven for you for sure. I mean, I know Andrew just popped in a little bit after he couldn't handle his stuff tonight, but big shout out to you guys for what you do at MaxspeedTV, Nerditudes for helping you out, Mike Edgerton and the Fish guys for sponsoring tonight's race. Without people like you guys, we wouldn't have a lot of the racing that we have, and we definitely wouldn't have it broadcasted. So we owe you guys a boatload, and we love the fact that you guys have been on board for so long, and we look forward to a continued relationship in the future. And everybody that helps do everything they do on Saturdays. A lot of people have kind of had to pick up my slack because of what I've been going through, and that's a lot of the admins and stuff like that, and a couple of other odds and ends people. But big shout out to everybody that's been helping with Saturdays, keeping it rolling, like Jimmy, Rick, Mark, Peter, the whole crew kind of banded together to make sure all of this ran, pretty smooth and everything while I was going through my process. And so big shout out to all them guys, the race team, Adam from pushing me to the win tonight. That bump at the end. That was crazy. Like I said, I definitely owe the win to Adam. And then big shout out to Vince there at the end. I literally thought he had it, but he ended up getting second. And a shout out to Steven Miles too. I feel bad for him. We were having such a good race, and I was really going to try to give him a payback for last week and stuff. And I don't know what happened coming into 3 and 4 or whatever, but I guess it just wasn't meant to be and stuff. But big shout out to him. He's a blast to race against and everything. And then everybody else watching, Dylan, if you're watching, this one is for you. You've rooted for me for so many years, not so many years, but so many seasons and races and stuff now that actually after being a fan and watching and talking to you more in chat, I've learned to appreciate that a little bit more. So, tonight's win's dedicated to you, Dylan. You can tell him too, Steven, if he's not in here tonight, but yeah, big shout out to him and just everybody else out there who watches and does what they do, all the way from, like I said earlier, admins, everybody else who we have in here for racers, even the people that just do the paint jobs, like Stephen Luttrell painted this new Fox Camaro for me for this season. I absolutely love it, and it's been kicking ass. So get you some new paint jobs from some of these guys, and maybe that luck will change around or something. I don't know.
Well,
But,
I think a lot of
that's
that,
it.
a lot of that is driver, not the paint. But if a paint makes you faster, then I need a new paint job.
Same.
Well, that's it. I'm gonna quit. I think I've been rambling on for like 10 minutes now. So.
It's all right. Well, Anthony, awesome job, buddy. Congratulations. Like I said, nothing but love and respect, brother. I'm glad you're doing better. Glad you're back out here. Glad to see you, picking up where you left off, buddy, and go celebrate and hopefully we'll see you tomorrow night. If not, maybe Monday night.
All right, sounds good, Steven. Thank you, and you have a good one. Andrew, you too. Have a good one.
You too.
All right, we'll see you, buddy.
Later.
Well, all right. Well, Andrew, we're going to go ahead and jump in to our unofficial results. This is, of course, pending any admin stuff that they have to do. If I can get it pulled up here. But here we go. Anthony English, your winner tonight was Inte Guerrero finishing in P2. Adam Kilday in P3. Stuart Broderick had a good night finishing P4. Rick Seabrands in 5th. That was actually David O's pick to win the race, but I think he got checked up from that last wreck. Dana Shepard with a good top 10 finish in 6th. Chris Jordan in 7th. Doug Johnson finishing 8th after coming back from a couple of laps down. Kenny Bishop in 9th. Jimmy Reynolds in 10th. Andy Brigante 11th. Gabe Butler in 12th. Stephen Miles 13th. Had a good run. Netco, self-spin. Unfortunate finish for Stephen because he had a very good chance, Andrew, of taking the win. But, you know, things happen. I mean, like I said, I didn't see Netco, but it very well could have been.
Yeah. I mean, Netco's been so iffy in iRacing the last couple of years. It's tough to tell nowadays.
It is. Well, Bubba Winningham, our Green Flag Chevyland Green Flag sponsor, finishing 14th. Jeremy Stanley finishing 15th. Dustin Logston 16th. Mike Edgerton, tonight's sponsor, in at 17th. And Rick Sanchez in 18th. Finishing out here, 19th is Alex Green. 20th, Sean Stevens finishing 21st. James Mayer 22nd. My co-host here tonight. Appreciate you jumping into the booth. Andrew Zanto finishing 22nd. Everett Lane with that wild ride there that took him out of the race, finishing 23rd. Thomas Lockwood 24th. Brandon Pfeiffer 25th. Andrew Schroeder in 26th. Dwayne Corbett in 27th. John Guerrera finishing in 28th. Ryan Callahan 29th. Dave Hunt finishing in 30th. Peter DeBorja 31st. And Richard Kuhn rounding out the field in 32nd. Well, folks, that's going to do it for us here tonight on MaxspeedTV and the OP Saturday night Unlimited Buttkicker Series. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Eric W. out there keeping everybody in line. Stephen Luttrell, Ginger Parent, Daniel Parent, Dwayne. I believe that's Dwayne Corbett that tuned in to chat. Let's see, going through. Cody Nagels popping in chat. Cody, good to see you out there, buddy. Let's see. Of course, Andrew. Yeah, I don't know why Steven didn't race tonight. I just seen that question.
Yeah, poor Steven.
He's had it rough
I think
few weeks.
I think I saw that he said that he just needed a break from super speedway racing for a week. So
yeah, nothing wrong with taking a week off because it can get pretty demanding. But David O out there in chat with the Checker Flag Motorsports guys. Appreciate David dropping in. Brendan Kennedy, I know, was out there. Of course, like I said, Daniel Parent, Ginger Parent, Rebecca Lane, the wife of Everett, tuning or watching the stream. Of course, Peter DeBorja popping in the chat. He had a pretty decent night, but I guess he just wasn't feeling it. John Guerrera popping in chat. Andrew Schroeder as well. Looking back through here, I'm trying to see if I missed anybody. Andrew, a lot of people out there, like I said, tuning in and checking everything out. I believe that is going to pretty much do it as far as our chat.
Brendan Kennedy.
Yep, Brendan Kennedy, one of our mods. He's always here. He may not always be chatting it up, but he is usually out here keeping an eye on the YouTube chat for me. And Rick Rat, I believe that is Rick Sanchez popping in there on that first session where he was saying loosey-goosey. So I think that first session was a little bit higher track temperature, and they decided that it was too much. Was going to have a lot more problems than what we did. But anyways, appreciate everybody tuning in. Of course, to our admins here at OP, trying to make it a better race. But awesome job by these guys. We didn't break the record or tie the record, but we got pretty dang close. But well, that's going to do it for us, Andrew. And I again appreciate you, buddy, for tuning in or coming up into the booth with me. What are we looking for? Well, Monday night. I know we definitely got Monday night. I think we're at Talladega Monday night. I'm not sure.
I'm not quite sure. I don't follow the Monday night series because of work and other obligations.
Okay.
Yeah, but I know next Saturday for us, I believe we are at Daytona, the regular track. It's I think it's going to be a little bit much more of a tamer race. I feel that field size will increase. I believe we're probably going to have near 40 drivers. Daytona's typically a track that will attract a lot of people, but it's gonna determine how the race is gonna be. Is it gonna be a hot setup? Is it gonna be a cool setup?
Well, I guess we'll have to wait till then. But again, Andrew, appreciate you tuning in or coming up into the booth, calling the rest of the race with me, buddy. Always a pleasure to have you up here. But that's gonna,
always.
Yeah. But that's going to do it for us to here tonight on MaxspeedTV. Now tomorrow night, CFM guys, same time, same channel. But I hope everybody stays safe. I know we still got more chances of storms and everything rolling through here in Oklahoma. So, but until tomorrow night, folks, please stay safe. And hope you enjoyed the stream. And hope you have a good night.
Have a good